all the leaders that are here, the Senate family. Let me ride on the already established protocols. I beg to greet you all. Good morning. Mr. Speaker, I too have a written speech, but allow me to speak out of my heart and abandon the drafted speech so that I get to reflect properly on the meaning and the placing of this gathering in this beautiful city of Naivasha. Mr. Speaker, sir, driving down to Naivasha this morning, I reflected on the Senate and the journey that has been for the last few years of the existence of this Senate, and thought about its place and the reason for existence. Mr. Speaker, I thought deeply and remembered that we could not perhaps have chosen a more apt location to have our conference than in this city of Naivasha, which is a home city of devolution, because when the 10th Parliament, midway through their term, just like us, retreated here, then as a unicameral house, to put the final coat of paint on our constitution, it was in this very city, perhaps in a hotel not very far from here, that they saw it fit that they grant the Senate of the Republic of Kenya the powers to nurture and uphold, defend, and ensure that devolution succeeds in Kenya. And therefore, reflecting from here, I hope, Mr. Speaker, that by the time we leave here, we will have asked ourselves whether we have lived up to the expectations of those gallant men and women who sat down in this city and saw that Kenya deserves perhaps what is arguably the best gift that this country has ever bequeathed itself since independence, in the form of devolution. Colleagues and the Senate family as a whole, I asked myself and would wish to challenge you into a reflection and perhaps some thought on who would you, if you're granted an opportunity, and ask who would you vote as perhaps the father or the mother of devolution in modern day Kenya. And I thought about many eminent Kenyans, people who made contribution. Of course, many politicians like myself would wish to claim that prize and think about we championed for this constitution and things like that. But my wandering post, when I thought about the life of one patriot, Dr. Crispin Odhiambo Bai, who paid with his own dear life for devolution to take root actually in this republic. When that gentleman chaired the subcommittee on devolution in the constitution-making process, it was because of his very firm views and his unwavering stand on what devolution portended for this republic that he finally breathed his last, because there are many people who did not wish to see devolution and the success and the promise that it had for this republic. There are many people who believed that we should have remained as one state where up to date in 2025 we'd still be haggling over only one budget. That is commitment. And I thought that perhaps we as the Fourth Senate must pray to God so deeply that he grants us that level of commitment to devolution and the desire to have it to succeed, so that in each of our working day, honorable speakers, members of staff and colleagues, we live up to that depth of commitment and belief in devolution to see it succeed in all our 47 devolved units. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, we as a family, we have a very difficult task ahead of us, because each and every day we receive complaints from Kenyans who remind us that as a Senate, it is our primary responsibility and duty to ensure that devolution succeeds. And I will not engage you in a discussion of whether it is succeeding or failing, because you know the answers. You know what we have done well and the areas that we need to improve on. The only thing that I pray for, Mr. Speaker, is a level of commitment that that patriot had in seeing that devolution succeeds in our country. Because, Mr. Speaker, each day when you drive down across the length and the breadth of this republic, you see the successes of devolution, but you also see the opportunity cost that continues to be lost in the form of reports that come to our house from CPIC, PAC, petitions, impeachment hearings, and you hear the gory stories of the things that goes on in our counties and ask yourself, can the Senate really stand up for devolution and think and reflect deeply that there are other Kenyans who are paid, including with their life, and say that while we may not necessarily have to pay with our life, what is it that we as an institution, Mr. Speaker, can do to ensure that 10, 15, 20 years down the line, people look back and say it was indeed in the Fourth Senate that devolution finally found its place and cruised, succeeded, and set up this country on a trajectory on the trajectory of prosperity. Therefore, that's my call to reflection to all of you, colleague senators, this morning. I thank you, and may God bless you as we begin this conference.
Thank you so much, Senate Majority Leader. I'm so glad that you remembered Dr. Mbai, and I personally hope that this can be one of the Senates that can truly be focused about delivering the Article 6 mandate of delivering our consultative and cooperative devolved governance for delivery of services to the people of Kenya. I now wish to invite our Deputy Speaker, Senator Kathuri Murungi, to make his remarks, after which you will invite the Speaker to make his remarks. Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker of the Senate, my colleagues, senators and leaders, and our very able staff, good morning. I want to just make two remarks because a lot have been said. The written speeches are almost the same, so I don't want to dwell on that. Actually, what was given by Senator for Nakuru County, Senator Tabitha, was sufficient enough to cover the whole session on these introductions. So she did it for us. I don't know even what the Honorable Speaker will be able to. That was a summary of everything. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to touch on two issues. As your deputy, on the plenary management, the conduct of our senators, and myself also included. So I want to first thank you most sincerely for managing our house very well and actually instilling discipline in the house. So far, so good, and I want to thank you. As your assistant, I want to comment on that and also to thank the senators. We started with some hiccups, but now I think we are on a very good highway, Senator Sifuna. We're on a highway that we're able to talk to one another and to discuss issues, including those which were raised by my colleague, Deputy Minority Leader, on controversial issues when we are debating. Number two is the management and performance of our committees, where I chair as the liaison chairperson. Let me say the issues that are raised by the Minority Leader and by Senator Enoch Wambua touches on the performance of the committees. It is through going to the committee work that maybe members travel in one vehicle. It is through doing all those things, committee work. And we have a full session which we will be able to bring everything, all the challenges, yeah, and the strengths, the challenges, lessons learned, and maybe way forward where we want to be in the next 2.5 years. So I think that is a full session where we'll be able to converse and to discuss on all those matters touching on the committee. So I don't want to dwell on that at this level. So I want to inform the House that the members, the senators who are here are more than 2 thanks, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the members. This is the first meeting this year, and we have almost 2 thanks of the members present. So naomba tafadhali tuweke mkono vizuri, tupigie senators makofi ya kilo, sio bando. Anza hiyo 1 2 3, another one. Thank you, senators, for this commitment. I know Senate is a house of really able men and women who knows their work, and that is why they are here, so that we start in a good footing. Na ile mambo tutaongea hapa leo, unajua mahali nimetoka mimi, niliambiwa niliambia tafadhali toka Kisasa tukiwa wazee, si ndio? Namna hiyo hata huko Kericho. Yes. So sasa siwezi kulia sasa. Niko na mambo mengi ya kusema, lakini sitaki kusema sasa. We will have that opportunity to do that. Therefore, it is now my singular duty to invite my boss, the Right Honorable Speaker of the Senate, to give his remarks. Karibu Bwana Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Kathuri. Now, honorable senators, members of the Secretariat, good morning.